Can you live with silencing yourself forever? As someone who has struggled with people pleasing your whole life, you censor yourself to accommodate other people and their feelings. But what about your feelings? What about what matters to you? Speaking up to people in your life, whether that's in your personal life or your professional life, can seem really scary if they're in positions of power or that's how you viewed them throughout your life. You may feel like you have something to lose, which maybe you do, but you could have everything to gain. Welcome to a brand new episode of On My Manifesting Mind with your host, Sudanë Firestar. I am so thrilled you are here today. Today's topic is kind of heavy. It can be a little intense, especially if you have struggled with people pleasing throughout your life and you are navigating what it's like to be authentic and to truly speak up for yourself, even if it might rub other people the wrong way. But it's so important for you to speak up for yourself and to live in your truth and to feel free. It's really possible for you to honor yourself while being respectful to other people in your life. And that's where assertiveness comes in. And in the end, it's really up to you to determine what you can and cannot live with. But when it comes to being your authentic self and being all of yourself, you should be able to be all of yourself in all of the places, not just being your authentic self at work and then silencing yourself in your personal life or silencing yourself at work and then being loud and proud and out there with all of yourself in your personal life. So, this topic came up for me because I have gotten really good in the workplace with speaking up for myself and being assertive and being confident. But the area in which I still needed to do more work was in my personal life. And that is ongoing. We are always in the process of growing and learning as individuals. Like, that is what we're here for as human beings. You never get it all done, there's always something new to learn. But if I am going to talk about being authentic, then I need to be authentic in all of the places too. And so this is something that came to a head for me where I had to really think, am I going to continue to silence myself in certain situations or am I going to speak up and tell the truth? And we're all creating our own realities. So one person's truth is not another person's truth. We do not all see life through the same lens. So that means that in the moments when you are speaking up for yourself, it doesn't necessarily mean that someone else is going to agree with you, nor do they have to agree with you. The point is for you to have the opportunity to speak your truth, whether you see eye to eye with that other person or not, or multiple people, because this can be like team dynamics at work, or it can be family dynamics or friendship group dynamics. It doesn't necessarily have to be a one-on-one thing. You just need to be able to be free to speak your mind and tell the truth and talk about the things that are important to you. And that can be hard to do when you are in a situation where you see someone as being an authority figure or you see someone as being in a position of power and having something over you to an extent, or you feel dependent on them to a certain extent. But have you thoroughly evaluated the situation? Are you still dependent on that other person or that other group? Do you have other options? Oftentimes, the answer is yes. Sometimes you will convince yourself that it is what it is and you can't change your circumstances, but oftentimes you have more power than you ever even considered. You have options. And if we go back to the work example, you may feel like you're dependent, your salary, your benefits, and you may think that there are no other opportunities available to you at this time. But how about if there are? Have you explored them? Have you opened your mind to the idea that there could be something out there that's even better for you than what you're in right now? Or when it comes to family dynamics, perhaps you felt like someone in your life was in a position of power or a group of people were in a position of power in the past. But really, are they now? And when you think about the things that you have to lose, again, like when we go back to work, maybe you feel like you're going to lose your salary, maybe you're going to lose your benefits. Is that really true? When I actually think back to my own situation when I used to feel this way years ago, it wasn't actually true. I was actually able to speak up for myself, tell the truth, be assertive. Again, it didn't mean that people agreed with me. It didn't mean that I got the most positive responses from everyone, but I got to keep my job. I got to keep my benefits. I got to keep my salary. So all the fears and doubts that I had in my mind about how things were going to work out, once I believed in myself more and I valued myself and knew my value, I no longer felt vulnerable in those places. And all these years later, I still have all the things that I thought that I could potentially lose. And in the personal example, I feel like I could potentially lose a relationship. But I felt like I really had to speak up for myself, even though it really was scary because I did not know how it was going to end. I didn't know, like, is this relationship going to continue? And now that I'm on the other side of it, we got over it. We got through it. Did we see eye to eye? No, we never did. And that's okay. And in the case that maybe it didn't work out that way, I felt like I had to honor myself as the podcaster, as the mindset and manifestation coach. There is no way that I could come here on the podcast and continue to talk about authenticity, especially in my podcasting course, Audacious Audio, and then continue to be timid and scared and fearful and just act like I was okay, right? Some people say silence equals agreement, and I didn't agree. So I said that. So are you okay with continuing to live this way? Are you okay with continuing to censor yourself, silence yourself? Do you want to go on, whether that's in a work relationship or a personal relationship, living that way, making yourself small and living a fraction of what you could be in this world? Because you are meant for more and you deserve to have more. You deserve to have the space to speak up for yourself, even if it makes some other people uncomfortable, even if it makes someone else angry. Again, you can always do that respectfully. And if you want tips on how to speak more assertively rather than aggressively, go back to my earlier episodes where I'm talking about assertive communication. So I'm never going to lie to you and say it's easy. It's very unnerving, very scary. And if you listen to the subscription only version of On My Manifesting Mind, I talk about my experience with perseveration when I'm going through something really stressful and how I just can't get it out of my mind. And it's really unsettling. But you're going to get through this. You're going to survive it. You're going to make it in the end. In the end, you always win. And how can you get through it much easier? By taking care of yourself. Self-care is the key to getting through this. So, if you have to face a difficult conversation, what can you do to take better care of yourself so that you are at your strongest? Are you getting enough rest? Are you sleeping? Are you drinking water? Are you eating healthy foods? Are you doing the things that you know are good for your physical and mental health? Are you going for walks? Are you doing your workouts? Are you meditating? Journaling? What are the things that you know center yourself and make you feel really, really good on a day-to-day basis? Another ritual or practice you can do is first thing in the morning as you're getting out of bed to imagine yourself being covered in white light from head to toe, going all the way down your body. That is your protection. Some people also like to use some type of object as a symbol of protection, whether it's a scarf or like a gemstone. What can you use to feel protected as you go out into the world where you're protecting your energy? And also, another thing that I really love to do that has oftentimes worked for me is waking up each day and saying, thank you, whether that's to God, the universe, for me having peaceful, positive, and harmonious interactions with everyone I encounter. So that's like with my family, my friends, my colleagues, my supervisors, the students I support and their parents. So thanking the universe or God in advance for these positive outcomes is super, super helpful too. So that's what I have for you today, my dear. And if you're not yet enrolled, Audacious Audio is open for enrollment. And in Audacious Audio, I teach you about being more of your authentic self, stepping into your greatness as the powerful podcaster and speaking your mind with confidence. So if you are ready to become the audacious podcaster, the link is in the show notes. And then as I also mentioned, On My Manifesting Mind has a subscription-only version for $7.99 per month, where I dive deeper into similar topics to the main podcast, except we're all focusing primarily on entrepreneurship and growing your brand new business. Or even if you are an aspiring business owner, this is for you, because I have a lot of practical tips related to business as well as mindset shifts that are going to help you to get to your next level. So the link is in the show notes for that offer as well. And until next time, I love you. Take care and have a beautiful day. Mwah.